Now you're joining us virtually from Colombo. And to say that this past year has changed our lives and our world would be an understatement. Mr. Wickremesinghe, how, according to you, has this pandemic changed the global pecking order?
Well, I think when we met in Dubai last year, none of us discussed what the post-pandemic global order will be. The pandemic was just starting. And I think we are not yet reached the stage where there is a medical solution. We are not even at the turning point. We are still at a pandemic stage. And we will have to stay there until they find a medical solution. But that's not going to be this year. What happened so far will only give us an indication of the future and what the GP lineup would be. In a way, this is the worst economic crisis after World War II. In World War II, European and East Asian economic capacity was destroyed. In this instance, it's not a question of destroying economic capacity or the financial system. It is that you can't have human contact, which is the basis of all economic activity. And we now have to see what is the outcome. As far as we are concerned, this is a new situation. Even during the Spanish flu, there was no question of stopping economic activity. Now, how we respond to the social and economic disruptions caused by the pandemic will determine the outcome. Since this pandemic cuts across the technology revolution, the social revolution, post-1989 unipolar world, which has now become a bipolar global order, the Washington Consensus Economics, climate change, and rise of Asia. These are these forces which have driven the rapid transformation of the world in the last 5 decades will now have to see the impact that COVID has made on them. The outcome of battle for economic supremacy will therefore be influenced by, for instance, the fact that fiscal capacity of many nations are stretched to the limits. We have added $24 trillion to the global debt, giving a ratio of 355%. Whether a conventional system of stabilization is even possible in such scenario, and how will debt management undergo radical change? Furthermore, what are going to be the changes to the Washington Consensus and the IMF governance? Then the position of US as a global currency, they have still shown that they could put $1.9 trillion into the economy. And how will China's 5-year plan, which is dual circulation economy, work out? These will determine the financial outcome of the US-China competition to change the global financial architecture. If US and the others have a lesser role to play, the new financial architecture will gradually make its way, not overnight, but it will be the start. But it has also brought out in the open the failure of the Washington-based economics, the leadership, global leadership. Now look at Trump's stand on COVID. It immobilized the whole US. European Union is still dominated by Brexit. And there's today a vaccine war that is taking place. The UN has been immobilized. There's open warfare in the WHO. But on the other hand, China and India have played a positive role, taking leadership not only in our region, but also helping Europe. China, where the pandemic came out, has got it under control. India has got 2 vaccine firms, Serum Institute and Bharat Biotech, which are becoming vaccine suppliers to the world. These 2 countries are also engaging in vaccine diplomacy, both India and China, maybe competing with each other. But Europe has not been, West has not been able to come up with any of these. And though US has had meetings on the COD on how to fight the pandemic, it has still not proved effective in our areas. All we see are Indians and the Chinese vaccines going along. So they have been more successful, and this is actually accelerating the power shift to Asia. Now the question is, while India wants to increase its profiles, it has to depend on accelerating its economic development. The outcome will depend on that, because India, unlike US, China, and Japan, hasn't got the economic punch. So until you come to that stage, which is an internal issue, are we going to accelerate? Are we going to make these reforms? Are we reaching out more to the RCEP, which we haven't joined? That keeps one question on India's ability to influence, though their political clout has certainly increased. So it's in this background, you see, there has been rise of Asia, not only China and India, Japan, ASEAN and South Korea have all increased their global profile. And what is emerging now will be a multipolar world finally. It may not even be bipolar. Certainly US, China is there, India, certainly, as long as they focus on their economics. Then you'll have EU, Japan, Russia, UK and South Korea as lesser poles. So the pandemic, in a sense, is hastening the coming of a new global order. This is what I see, but I'd like to listen to the views of my distinguished colleagues who will have other points.